Hey guys, it's Kip here from KDC Marketing, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to create buttons in Figma. And I made a video about this a little while ago, and to be honest, it wasn't the best video. And so in this video I'm going to show you how to first create the buttons using auto layout, and then how to create some components with those buttons so that you can design the button once and then reuse it on your website layout over and over again. So first we're going to create our button, and to do that I'm going to create some text right here. So I'm going to create some text, and I'm just going to say learn more, and I'm going to get my text how I want it first before I create this button. Okay, so that's how I want my text. So I have my text element here, and then if I click on this element and I hold Shift and then A, I'm going to create a frame. So I have my frame over here on the left hand side, and then you can see this box is around the text element. So I'm going to add some fill. I'm going to do a fill color here. I'm going to click this plus sign, and now there's this white box. And you'll notice if I change this color, then that frame will change colors as well. So I'm going to get this to this light blue color, which is what I want for this button. And then I'm going to add some horizontal padding and some vertical padding to my frame to give my button a little bit of style. So I'm going to do 60 on the horizontal so that my button's a little bit longer. And I'm going to do 12 on the vertical to give my button some style. And then I'm actually going to round the corners here. So on my corners I'm going to give them 20 pixels. And it just gives me this nice rounded button look. Okay, so now that I have my button, this is going to be my main button here. So I'm going to create this into a component. So once I have the frame selected on the left hand side, I'm going to click this create component button up here, and now this button is a component. So I'm going to name this main button. Okay, so I've got my button here that's my component, and then I'm going to reuse this button over and over again. So I'm going to drag this over into this section. I'm going to drag it over. I'm just copying it over, and I'm going to keep it there. Okay, so I got my buttons in my section. Now I'm just going to put these sections together with auto layout really fast. And so now that they become a little more designed, because we'll need this in a second for our example, and I'm just using 32 pixels to space everything out. Okay, so I've got my design almost where I want it, and now I'm going to edit my button. Let's say that I've started my website layout and I need to change my button color for whatever reason. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click on my component, and I'm going to change the button color to, let's go to this yellow here. So you can see that all of these buttons updated in real time. If I change my text inside of my button to bold, let's go back and check our buttons out here. They also updated in real time to bold. So the reason that I create this button on the left hand side outside of this wireframe is so that I can have this component here, and then all I have to do is edit the component and all the other elements update. And if I change my corner radius to 0, then all of those will follow suit. So it's pretty cool. And it will save you a lot of time as you design using components, because then you only have to design them one time and you can edit everything all at once. So let's say that I want to have a couple of buttons though. I don't just want to have this main button here. I want to have another button. So I'm going to click on my component. I'm going to click up here called Add Variant, and this is going to be my subscribe button. So now I have a second button in my component set, and I'm going to design this a little bit different. So I'm going to make this more of a red, and then I'm going to give it a little bit of to change the padding a bit. So I'm going to actually increase this to 24. I'm going to keep this at 60. And then on the corners, I'm going to make this one just a regular one, and I'm going to add a stroke on the outside. So kind of an outline over here. And you can see, here's my button with the outline. The reason I want that stroke is because I want to make it more of like a clear button. And so now I've got this kind of outlined button here. And I'm going to change the text inside to say subscribe. And because this is a subscribe button, I want it to be bold and all uppercase. So I'm going to change that real fast. And then I got to increase my size here that's holding my components. Get these styled a little bit. Okay, so I've got my main button and my subscribe button here. So now, if I want to use the subscribe button, all I have to do is drag this one over into my design, and now I've got my subscribe button. And maybe I want this to be the main button in the navigation too, because it's more of an action that I want them to take. So I'm going to add this button here in the top, and I'm going to put, let's do 750 here to space these out. Okay, so I've got my main button and my subscribe button, and now I'm going to go in and change this to be a purple. Okay, so I've got my subscribe button. You can see those two updated automatically, and I'm also going to change the text inside of here to be white. So I'm just going to the selection colors, and so now my text is white. It also did my stroke though, so I need to fix that. So I need to fix my stroke to stay black. So now my button has the black outline with white text, and they updated automatically on my design. Now I'm going to hurry up and get these to be in a nice auto layout here. So we'll go 24 pixels and 32. And so now I've got a nice subscribe to our newsletter section. So that's how you can create buttons and reuse them. And so I'm going to create one more time just to show that first step. So over here, you're going to grab the text. You're going to type your text. So maybe it's call now. And this is a bit big for a button, but we're gonna bring this down a bit. So maybe this is our text here. So then once I have my text element, I'm gonna click it, hold Shift A. It's gonna put that frame around my text box, and then I add the fill color here. And now I'm editing the color of the frame. If I want to edit the color of the text, I just click back into the text element, and I can edit that too. Maybe I want the call now text to be a dark blue on white. So I can edit either element, and then this is how I get my horizontal and vertical padding. So maybe I want this one to be a long button at 12, and now I've got my call now button. And then if I want to create this into a component, all I have to do is click create component up here. The other great thing about this main button is you can create endless amount of variants here. So I have two, but I can add another variant if I want. So I could do my call now button in here, right? So now I've got my subscribe button, I have my learn more button, and now I'm going to do my call now button in here and do what we just did. So I'm going to change this text to the blue. I'm going to change this background to the white, and I'm going to round my corners out so that I'm more of a box shaped button. And I'm going to bold my text and make it uppercase. So, and actually I'm going to add a stroke on this one too, just to make it kind of different. So now it's got that black border around it, and now I have my third button. And then if I want to use this in my design, I just have to drag it over. And maybe I want to add it into this frame. And instead of 100 pixels between everything, or 750, maybe we'll go 300. And so now I've got a button in the middle, a subscribe button, my company logo. And if I edit this button over here, it's going to edit the one up there. So let's use a color we haven't used yet, a green. Call now, subscribe, etc. Okay, I hope that's helpful. Buttons are really important in web design, and if you create the components this way, it'll save you a lot of time once you get further into your designs, because then you just have to edit these components over here. You don't have to go in and click every single button one by one and try to edit every single one and change all the colors. You just have to change it one time over here on the left hand side. And if you create them using the frames, so doing the text and then using Shift A to create that frame around the button, I think that's so much better than using like a shape or something, like just creating a rectangle here and then adding the text element to it. You could do it that way, but I just feel like it's so much better to do it as a frame, because then you have to deal with this being inside of a rectangle instead of the auto layout frame. All right, well, I hope that helps, and I hope that you can use this much better than my last video. I feel like this is much better explained than I did last time, and I know it's going to help speed up your production when designing your website. So I will see you guys in the next video.